Very special guest, Luis Moreno, is with us today. He's doing a lot and has been doing a lot in the insurance industry. We'll introduce you to his YouTube channel here in a little while and all the value he gives other agents all over the world. And I'm really impressed with him. I've been consuming some of his content and I think it's fantastic. I love your spirit. Luis, how are you?
Man, I'm glad to be here, glad to be alive, and I'm excited to talk to, share some of what I got up in here with you guys.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that very much. And obviously, we'll talk a little bit about your channel as well toward the end. So I want everybody to stick around for that because there's a lot of content there that's very valuable. But give us a little background on, what your career has looked like. I don't want to botch it up.
No worries. Well, let's do that because it's kind of, I'm gonna like, what's the word? I'm going to, I can't even say. You know what? I've been around for a while. A lot of people think you haven't been doing insurance that long. Well, I got my license in 1999. Okay.
Wow.
All right. So I've been at it for a good while. So after college, I started out as an independent or as a captive agent with Mutual of Omaha, selling Medicare supplements and long-term care. I didn't even know about prescription drug plans. I would just get out there and do supplements, and I'd be like, what about prescription drugs? Like, I don't know, I haven't been trained. All I help you with your supplement, good luck on your prescription drug plan, and I walked out. And
Right.
I did long-term care. I did that for about 2 years, and then I just got, too much. All right, so 2001 comes around, and I decide crazily to join the military. I take off. Now it was National Guard time, so I was able to still maintain an insurance career, and I started an insurance career with Farmers Insurance, which I still have. This is my Farmers office that we're in here right now.
Okay.
And so 2001, we still have the agency now. I have over 9 employees at this point. We're probably the second largest in our area. And we do a lot of property and casualty, auto, home, life, and commercial. Okay, but I never gave up the health side of the industry. So the good thing is that what I learned that I took away from the military is that you have to learn to delegate. Okay, you can't do it all. Okay, you can't carry everything. Ultimately you have to have faith in your people and tell them, look, we're at point A. All I'm telling you, we need to be at point B by this time, and you let somebody else make it happen. Okay, my job is to tell them where to go. Their job is to figure out how we're going to get there. Okay, Perfect. So I started, that's the way we did it in the military. So I decided I'm going to run my agency like that. So I tell my people this is what I want, and then I let them do it. I got very bored because they're all doing it. In fact, they were like, Luis, you need to go away. You're kind of bothering us. They're like, we were breaking goals. We were winning trips, carrier trips. I mean, we were number one in our district of about 80 plus agents. We're doing good. So I decided back in 2008 to dive back down into healthcare. Okay, so I dived down back into Medicare. Started producing again because I was a little bored. My agency was still running on autopilot, and then
doing well.
And doing well. And then 2000, and I was selling some individual health care, the old way, the fully underwritten way.
Right.
And then Obamacare hit in 2014. I was like, all right. And I had a very insignificant under 65 health insurance book. And then 14 hit. I'm like, I think I can make this happen. And since then, I have 100% dived into ACA, which is under 65 health insurance, but I still have not given up the Medicare. So still heavily doing the Medicare. But 14 came in and I took off with ACA, which is the Affordable Care Act insurance for people 65 and under. And it has just been crazy good. Crazy good.
What do you think? So the PNC side of the house with Farmers, obviously you're a very well-known agent there in your market in Texas. But what do you think about as far if what's keeping you interested? Because clearly you're at a point right now, if you didn't want to work real hard, like a lot of insurance agents, after that long of time, they just kind of rest on or sell their book to somebody else. What keeps you going? Because you're very passionate about the industry still.
So the biggest thing is I've got a wife to deal with. Okay. All right. Man, and I will tell you, she loves the carrier trips that we win. When we
Okay.
don't win one, it's like, oh man, does she make life hard. Now we have our own trips, but we still want to win those trips. And to
Right.
win those trips, you have to have high limits, high levels of production. So that's number one.
All
Okay.
right.
So we love winning the trips. Okay. Number two is I've got 9 people to feed here at my office.
Okay.
So, and I want their incomes to go up and I want them to be successful. And so, we push. I mean, they get paid very well. And so
Right.
I want them to do it. I want them to
Right.
grow. Secondly, these, and I'm not a mechanic, but inside of an engine, you got the spark plugs, right? One doesn't work, the engine starts running not well. Okay.
Right.
Well, the same thing happens with my agency. The PNC helps feed my ACA, my Medicare. My ACA feeds my PNC and my Medicare. My Medicare sometimes feeds my PNC. Of course, it doesn't feed the ACA, but my ACA feeds my Medicare. So it's all entangled, and so it's just like a very well-oiled machine. So we have to keep pushing. Now, to answer your last question is, yes, I don't have to work. I mean, we've hit our goals. We're debt-free minus a coastal home that we just bought. I'm gonna write a check off for that thing here in a couple of months. But the reason I don't sell my business is because it's like an annuity. Why would I sell and get a multiple when I can just keep it going and just show up a couple of days a week and manage it?
Right.
And not get a multiple, and then at some point it ends.
Yeah.
But I have a very tight-knit unit. I've actually got family working here. My sister works here. Her husband works here. And then most of my people have been with me 5-10 years. So there's really no reason for me to give it up. Now, if I didn't have this unit, I may want to sell, but why? If I didn't have the ability for it to run on its own and me not have to be here and manage it,
Right.
something may be, there's other factors, but because it's so well oiled, the only thing I don't delegate is Medicare. I still do all the Medicare myself. But the ACA, I have a team. The auto, I have a team. The commercial, I have a team. The life insurance, I have a team. The home insurance, I have a team. And they kind of take care of themselves.
That's
It's taken a lot of years to build that.
right. And somebody that wants to spend, so a young person watching this right now or listening to this, it's still possible today to do that. It's just if you want to work, I would say. Wouldn't you say that it's still possible? The opportunity's still there?
You know what? 100% still there. But here's what I would caution people. Don't do PNC.
Okay.
know? I mean, yes, if you really want to, but a PNC agency, well, first of all, PNC has really become more of a commodity. You have a way of, people have a way to go get their own insurance, and it's all about the price. Okay, so if you're not competitive, you're going to have a hard time. Also, we are in what's called a very tight market in the PNC industry. So if you're thinking you're going to get licensed and get a bunch of insurance carriers to sell, not going to happen. We're saturated. Carriers don't want more business. You would think they would want more, but no, more business means more risk. And climate change is kind of a real thing. I mean, I'm not putting any political into it, but all these storms that we're having is causing a lot of claims for auto and home and commercial. So what you're seeing is a lot of insurance carriers on the PNC side reduce their risk. I can't insure. It's so hard to insure a home over $750,000.
Right.
And you would think, well, those are mansions. No, they're normal homes.
Right. Well, I'm in Florida, and 750, anywhere from $500,000 to 750 is pretty basic home, or around my area here.
Yeah.
So,
It's
in
not
the Midwest, in the Midwest, 750, and some of those towns you're living at the country club, right down the street. So yeah, it's a different world. And I've heard other people say that are on the PNC side that, especially here in Florida, that they can't even write certain things in Florida anymore because of the hurricanes and storm damage and things.
It's
So
hard.
your advice is to kind of, maybe if I'm hearing you right, to kind of stick with ACA and Medicare, because as I learned on your channel, the opportunity for Medicare right now for the next, correct me if I'm wrong, Luis, but 10 to 15 years is going to it's just going to keep growing because of all the boomers turning 65, right?
That is correct. So I think if I knew what I know now back then, I probably would have started in the health insurance side, okay? Which I kind of did, but I was doing Medicare and I was doing subs. And with subs, it's selling because you're collecting a premium. Medicare Advantage, there's no premium. So, and I wasn't doing Medicare Advantage back then. So
Right.
I would tell a new agent, look, if you really want to do PNC, sure, but know that it's tough. What's really easier, not easy, but easier, is the health side, the ACA through Obamacare and Medicare. And you are right, we are going through a boom right now where you've got, and I hear different numbers, 10,000, 11,000 people turning 65 a day.
A day.
A day. And these people, and here's what I share on the Medicare side. So if you're a new agent and you're listening to this, and you're like, well, do they really need me? So I like to share the 3 levels of confusion for a senior.
Okay.
It took me a while to figure it out. So number 1, a senior that's gonna get Medicare, they come in from one of 3 paths. Okay. Number 1, they work for a company and they were offered group or employer insurance.
Okay.
Okay. Very easy. Here's your plan. You want it? Yes or no. Here's your price. Boom. No decision making. Nothing. Or maybe they didn't have access to group insurance, so they had an individual plan like Obamacare, ACA.
Okay.
Or you have a huge chunk of people that had no insurance. And they were just like waiting. Oh, please, I can't wait to get Medicare because Medicare is going to be the best insurance in the world.
Right.
All right.
When you have none, it's a great option. So yeah.
It's a great option. Okay. So you have those 3 paths that these seniors come from. Now, a senior gets into, or they age in, and now they got to figure it out. Okay. So the first level of confusion is the alphabet. Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Right.
A, B, C, D, G, F, N. You're like, what do I got? What do I do? They don't understand that they have to go enroll in Medicare and get Part A and Part B, and then we can help them either with a plan, G or N. We can help them with a Part C, which is a Medicare Advantage, or Part D, which is a prescription drug plan. I mean, there's a lot of variables. So the confusion is, for these people, like, oh, wow. Okay, that's one level. Number 2, when somebody turns 65, if you've ever been with somebody who turns 65, the amount of unsolicited phone calls that they get. Okay,
Which is illegal. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
The amount of mail that they get. They even get door knockers. Okay, not supposed to. The snail mail is fine, but email, text messaging, phone calls, all that has to be something that they opted into, which of course they don't. Okay, so they get bombarded with that. Okay, and they're like, what do I do? Every day I got people calling me. The third level of confusion is, let's say that they figure all that out. Now they got to figure out, which carrier do I go with? You know how many carriers they are?
Right.
Aetna, United, Humana, Blue Cross, Cigna, Anthem. I mean, you've got hundreds of carriers, and each carrier has multiple plans. They have their regular HMOs, they have PPOs, they have dual SNPs, they have chronic or C SNPs. I mean, it's a lot for a senior. So Reason I'm sharing this with you is so that you take this level of confusion, this knowledge, and you're like, what? These seniors really do need somebody. They need somebody to guide them.
Right.
Because what happens with a lot of these seniors is sometimes they get freeze, they get the deer in the headlights, and they're like, I don't want to make a mistake, so I'm going to choose non-decision because I don't want to go the wrong way. And I see a lot of seniors, I'm like, why didn't you? They're like, I didn't know what to do. I was afraid to make a mistake. I was afraid to pick the wrong plan.
Like Medicare is this big monster behind a big garage door or something, and really, if you have a guide to help you that knows what they're doing, it's not as complex as it seems. So
exactly. So we are very needed. And what's happening is a lot of agents, there's compliance, and a lot of agents have opted to say, nah, you know what, I'm going to give it up. It opens the door for a lot of agents. Plus, you got a lot of older agents that are now retiring too. Right. So we're in a good spot here probably for the next decade for a new agent to come in, get trained, know how this works, and help seniors out. The challenge for new agents is how do you get in front of seniors? That's the challenge.
Yeah. That's the biggest challenge.
I tell people there is no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Because and most of my questions from agents like, how do I find these seniors? How do I get leads? Right. I will tell you what. I'm not sitting under a coconut or the palm tree on my own private island, because if I had all those leads and I had the pot of gold, why would I share them? I just build a team and just keep rocking and rolling. So I tell agents the biggest challenge is finding seniors to talk to. And there's two ways to do this. And it's not ingenious, but there's only two ways to get leads. Give me 1 minute. I got my little attack dog here wanting to get out. I bring my dog to work every day.
Yeah, your Chihuahua. I've seen it on your YouTube channel, which we'll get to. But yeah.
So. Every morning, sometimes I bring her, and then I work out in the morning, so my wife brings her, and so she does her, jumps on me, gives me a little love, and then boom, she's done with me. Yeah. She goes makes the round with everybody. And what she's really doing is seeing who's got breakfast. So see what she can acquire. But finding leads, this is a challenge, guys. And so there's really no secrets to leads. You can social media, do some social media advertising. You can do regular advertising on the radio, on paper, newspapers, and stuff, bulletins that go out. You can do seminars. You can do webinars, and you can have a properly optimized website that brings you organic leads in your market too. That's kind of my business. You know what I do on the other side of that, and a lot of agents are skipping past that, paying for leads, and a properly optimized website that puts you at the top in the market is going to give you some organic leads. And so I know you've got all your bases covered, but there's probably new agents out there going, hey, just like you said in one of your training programs, you mentioned, some agents have their name at Gmail for example, instead of their name at their agency domain, and all of those little things can be tied together, like you're saying, with social media and basically pay-per-click, using all of the usual suspects. But one of the things that I think is being overlooked is something that you yourself are doing, and your YouTube channel is blowing up. And why couldn't there be a customer-facing YouTube channel in these markets? I mean, that would also be a good way to get leads, I would presume. 100%. I created one for ACA. But I've gone down a different a path, a different vertical at this point. I have my books of business, and they're nice, and I maintain them, and we grow. But a new path in 25 years, I've gotten not too excited about that. I mean, I love it. I love the money, but I get more excited with my channel that's more of a business-to-business channel. Right. Where I'm talking to insurance agents. But you agents should be talking to consumers. You should have a business to consumer channel. And it's not that hard. Okay? You just, Google a few things and make your YouTube channel, and then just post out there. one of the things that I do is I follow some guys that do a lot of postings, and I get an idea of what they did. Oh, they talked about Plan G being very good or very bad, and I watch it and I'm like, oh, I'm going to make my own video. I don't copy them, but I use that as inspiration to create my own video.
Sure.
Now, there's also another tool that is really, really cool. Okay, I call it my own personal assistant. Okay, and it's an assistant that is so good that I'm calling her a she only costs me about $20 a month. Okay, all right. So
you might be two-timing it because I think I'm dating her too. So
yeah, you're right. She's not loyal. She will go with anybody who pays her $20 a month. But her name is Chat GPT. Okay,
right.
And I go on there, and you could, as a new agent who's building out a channel, or and you create all your social media outlets, your Facebook page, maybe your LinkedIn, your TikTok, whatever. You're like, okay, what do I do? Go ask your assistant. Hey, I want to give me in fact, I did it. Give me a 30-day calendar for, you got to give the Chat GPT content. So you tell it, I am an insurance agent. I want to create videos and post discussing Medicare. My target market is people that are over 65. I want to help them with Medicare. Give me some ideas on posts and ideas. Boom, and you just see the thing go to work, and it gives it all to you. And then it is so cool. And then you can take one and say, okay, great. So today I want to talk about this one topic. And you can just tell it, hey, give me an outline, give me bullet points, give me an example of a thumbnail to create, and you tell it what to do. And I think there's even technology out there, and you may know more about this, Max, than I do, where you can give it the script and you get an AI person to talk on your behalf, but then you lose you.
Absolutely, okay. Yeah. That's the time is now for that. And I want to put a footnote on what you just said. You're doing it. You already did the hard work, since 1999. I'm sure you've had in the beginning, especially, some hard-learned lessons. We'll just say. But you've built the team, you've learned how to delegate, so you're acting like a business owner, and now you're even going back and you're saying, you know what, I want to help the community that's given me so much. And you do, because your channel, and I'll put it in the notes here on this podcast for everybody, but your channel is really, really good. It's what brought me to you. In fact, I just moved underneath your company for ACA, and I got to tell you, that onboarding process, just got it yesterday afternoon, almost done. I'll wrap it up here today. But it's so smooth. It's so good. I know, especially new agents out there, they get hooked up with an FMO or something, and the support is the problem. I mean, because it's a mess, that they don't get the training they need, or, the contracting process isn't as good as it could be. I can honestly say firsthand, right into the camera, that that's not the case. My experience has been with you. You have been just really helpful, over the top helpful, and we need more people like you in the world, I believe. But going back to what you said on the, making the content, the time has never been more important, because right now, that content's going to help you with SEO, obviously, search engine optimization, but that's going to change, and I think a lot of people are oblivious to that, because audio engine optimization, where, like you just mentioned, Chat GPT, and this is a great time. What's going to happen is, instead of a list of blue hyperlinks or options like, insurance, Medicare insurance agent in my area. So instead of a list, what's going to happen is as people start using AI more and more over the next 12 to 36 months, even, chat or an AI is going to give the answer. Not a list of answers, give the answer. So agents in all of their markets, if they're all over this right now, and they are building content like you are an example, I know you're B2B, but even B2C, those agents are going to stand the best chance of presenting themselves as the answer as we get away from the traditional search as it is right now. So you're giving valuable advice, gold nuggets, actually.
Yeah, well, I think that Chat GTP, I tell people, I use it all the time. I give it some data, and I'm like, refresh this for me. make this message better. I even tell it to respond to my Google reviews.
Yeah.
I don't want to recreate it. I'm like, hey, I take the Google review, the comment or the review that the person posted, I put it in Chat GTP and say, hey, please respond to this. Boom, it looks good. I copy and paste it and send it back to them.
Right.
And I think that you can automate that, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
I will go back to your comment that you mentioned earlier about where an FMO is out there. So an FMO is an entity that you can contract with. That's all it is. We FMOs, because I am in that category, what happens in this category is we make a little bit of money when we contract you and you sell. Okay? All right, so that's what we do. Now, a lot of FMOs, they're all very, very good at marketing. A lot of them dangle some beautiful, juicy looking carrots, which a lot of new agents, including myself back in the day, we chase the carrot. And sometimes we get to catch the carrot. They give it to us. And you're like, I wish it was a carrot, but this thing is a rotten piece of crap. And what I'm talking about, the carrot that a lot of FMOs dangle is, oh, we're going to give you free leads. Well, guys, free leads, no more. I will give you the insight on free leads, okay? Because I fell for this. What it is these insurance companies, they've got marketing budgets in the millions, hundreds of millions probably, who knows? They market like you wouldn't believe. They get responses from people, they generate leads. The first thing they do is they give them to their internal team. Yes, United has their own inside agents. I was one of them. Okay, so all right, so they take all this, they work them. So United, the carriers get their pick. They get the fresh stuff. All right, now, then what they do is it gets passed over, and they're like, all right, well, let's share the ones that we didn't sell. Let's share the crumbs with the FMOs that we partner up with. So all the FMOs get this list. Then the FMOs share this with the agents. I got this wonderful list of leads for you. Crap. Okay. Now, the problem with that, back in the day, those leads were 6 months, a year old. You could still call them. Nobody cared. Right. You can't do that anymore. The new TCPA rules. Okay. You have got to have express consent to contact them. Otherwise, we have one of my agents that fell for this, got a call transfer, and without the correct consent, and now he's the attorney it was like a setup, and he fell for it. Now they're the attorney's like, okay, well, if you just pay us, we won't turn you in. If you don't pay us, we're going to turn you in.
Wow.
Yeah, it's out there, and it's like a little what do they call it? Like a boiler room. So they hire all these seniors to sit there, and they wait for unsuspecting agents to call leads, and then they record it, they catch it, and they get busted, and now you got to deal with that crap. So that carrot is not a good carrot, guys. Ultimately, I think that from here going forward, and you mentioned this, organic leads, whether you create them on social media, whether you have an SEO optimized website that you pop up when they do a Google search, or the good old get out of your office, elbow grease, and get out there and go mingle. Right. Okay? Go hang out
on top of that, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Go and talk to go where seniors hang out. Okay? Here in our area, we have a big doctor group called WellMed, and they have senior centers. And they have pool tables in there and stuff for them to do and hang out, and it's like a social thing. Okay? Well, go in there and do a seminar. Go to these. Here we also have these senior high rises, and go do. They're always looking for people to go talk, and you can do an educational, which I don't like to do, but you can do an educational event, a sales event, and then you just mentioned referrals right now, Max. Okay, get out there and start creating relationships with people who are willing to refer their book of business to you. Right. So I tell people, well, that sounds like a good idea. Where do I go? Okay, number one, I'm a PNC guy, but I'm the one out of 100 that does healthcare. The other 99 of my people, they're like, I don't want to touch that. Go talk to the PNC guys in your town.
Right.
Hey, this is what I do. Hey, let me come and let's work an arrangement. In fact, on my YouTube channel, I have a video that talks about networking with PNC guys and what you can say to that PNC agency owner to incentivize them. Like, this sounds like a good idea. You know what? Come on board. Okay. Go network with PNC guys. How about networking with your colleagues that don't do this? So
right.
I joke around and I'm like, Max, are you sure you want to do ACA? It kind of sucks, bro. Okay?
Right.
I mean, it doesn't pay anything. Contracting is horrible. I mean, and I'm joking. Okay?
Right.
Here's what you can do. Here's what I'm going to do for you, Max. Why don't you just refer them to me? I'll write them and I'll give you a referral fee.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. And you know what? But I do that jokingly. But I do that with a lot of my PNC friends. Like, you don't want to do them, send them to me, man. I'll take care of them for you. And then I give them a $50 gift card. So networking with your colleagues. Okay. How about networking with doctors? Okay. I have a video on there on networking with docs. And this one, it was, you know, sometimes you do things and you're like, damn, that's a good idea. Why didn't I think of this? So I had a client come in and his policy canceled. Okay, and it was not my fault. His credit card expired and the billing got messed up. He was like, dude, my wife is pissed. She is, mad. She goes, can you get me back in? I'm like, yeah, I can get you back in. But the carrier that he was with, the rate has increased. And he's like, I don't care who you put me with, but here's what I do care about. My wife sees these 3 doctors. They better be in the plan. Otherwise, I'm not going to get out of this jam that I'm in. I'm like, all right. And he's like, whatever, just do it. I'm like, okay, boom. I start doing my job, get on the computer, and I find a carrier. I'm like, okay, I verified on the quote platform, which I use Health Sherpa. Right. The doctors are in the network. Okay, but I also know that it's not always 100% accurate. And this guy is telling me, Luis, make sure. So I pick up the phone and I call the first doctor. Hey, and never talk to the person that answers the phone, guys. Okay, I'm telling you right now, that is an hourly person and they don't know squat. They're the gatekeeper. Okay, so what you do is you call and like, hey, I'd like to speak to the insurance person. Or maybe they have a prompt and it sends you to the insurance department. Then you talk to Miss Betty there in the insurance. Hey, Betty, this is Luis. I'm an insurance agent. Okay, I'm sitting here with our mutual client, my client, your patient, John Smith. Okay. You know John? They should know John. Okay, well, here's the deal. Their insurance got canceled, and I'm trying to fix it. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. Betty, it shows that the doctor there takes this carrier. I need to confirm because I can't screw this up. Okay. Betty says yes. Okay, sure. I'm like, okay, thanks, Betty. Click. And I'm like, God, horrible. I'm like, I had an opportunity, and I didn't take it. So I called Betty back. Betty, this is Luis. She says, oh, what do you want now? Like, Betty, what other plans do you take besides this one? And she tells me 2 more. And I'm like, but there's 8 of them in our county. So you're telling me that you don't take the other 5? She's like, no, we don't want to take them. We don't like them, whatever. I'm like, okay. So, okay, awesome. Thank you, Betty. Boom. 5 minutes later, another light bulb turns on. And I'm already hesitant to call Betty back. And I'm like, all right, I give it a day. I call back. Betty, this is Luis. And she's like, oh my God, what is it now? Right. Like, Betty, what do you do with people who have the other 5 plans? Or what do you do when somebody has no insurance? And she's like, well, they have to cash pay, or a lot of times they just end up leaving the doctor's office. I'm like, that's probably not a good thing. You're losing out on money. How about this, Betty? Why don't me and you work together? And you tell those people to call me, the people who have no insurance, or the people that have those 5 other plans. You tell them to call me. And you tell them that they're coming from this doctor's office, and I created a little Excel. And you tell them, call this agent. He'll get you taken care of so you can come see this doctor. And I'll do everything in my power to put him into a plan, one of those 3. All right. Nice. She's like, great, let's do it. Okay, Betty, here, can you get my name and number or whatever? And she's like, okay, great. I hang up. Now, I have my camera up here so you can't see it, but if you look at my desk, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 11 sticky notes spread out on my desk. So Miss Betty probably put my name on the sticky note. And guess what? By tomorrow, it's going to get attached to some paper and it's gone. So I called Miss Betty back and she's like, come on, again? I'm like, Miss Betty, if you're like me, you probably don't even have my number saved, right? She goes, oh, yeah. It goes, it's on a sticky note, isn't it? Yes. I'm like, you're going to lose it tomorrow. How about this, Miss Betty? And I like to joke around because insurance is super boring, Max. You know, I'm like, Miss Betty, would you like to go on a date with me? And she's like, what? And I'm like, not that kind of date. Come on. I'm talking about a lunch date. And here's what I would like to do. Hold the horse right there. Hold on. Okay. So, I tell Miss Betty, hey, can I come by your office? Okay. And you know what? I'll bring you guys some breakfast tacos. Maybe I can bring lunch. I'll bring a Chick-fil-A platter. I can go pick up salads. That's a lot of you guys want. Whatever you all want. Let me take care of all of y'all for a lunch or a breakfast. And what I really want to do is I want you to meet me. Okay, so you know who you're sending these people to. But more importantly, I want to go and drop these off. If you look at them, guys, I got these on Amazon. They're like $2 each. Mm-hmm. Then I went and made these hard, not paper, these rack cards.
Rack cards, okay? Yep.
And I took these and I took 5 of them. One sits at where they check in. The other I placed around the lobby. And then I took a stack of business cards and I told the person that checks them out, give this to every single one of them. Okay, I'm working with y'all. I'm your all's insurance guy. So when you all take an insurance question, you don't want to answer it, you tell them to call me, or you call me, and I'll help you. Oh, we would love that. And I go to Miss Betty here, and she's got a stack of cards, and now I get a steady stream of not only ACA, but Medicare referrals. And you cannot beat a referral.
Right.
Warm. Now, I tell them, and also I think on their side, they can't give me their name and number, but they tell them to call me. So I get a call. Oh, hey, this is so-and-so. Dr. So-and-so asked me to, or Miss Betty at the doctor's office said that you could help me with this. I'm like, I sure can.
And that's a warm lead, baby. They don't come any warmer than that. No. That's one you get on as soon as possible. Either answer the phone or get back to them within an hour, I think, So,
and it's free. And then you got to kind of grease the wheel, guys. It's the way the world works. Miss Betty, do you get a couple? Miss Betty, where do you and your husband like to go have dinner?
Right.
Because here's what I would like to do. Let's go have a three-way date. Whatever. Yeah, joking around. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not going to go on a date with you guys. But I would like to pay for a date night for you guys. Would you guys, you want to go to Longhorn Steakhouse? I'll give you a $200 gift card for helping me out and sending me these clients. And you know what? I'll come by and deliver it.
Luis. If you're handing out $200, you got a good budget, man.
Well, if they sent me one Medicare, I've made $600.
Right, exactly.
Okay?
Right.
If they sent me just one ACA, I've made $300.
Right.
So I still haven't lost money.
Right.
Okay. So I'm just trying to keep that wheel greased. And guess what? That $200 dinner at Longhorn Steakhouse or Texas Roadhouse, whatever, goes a long way. And
that's that you cannot do with Medicare, right? I mean, you can't give somebody like that. You can't give Betty or can you? See that there's gray area there, and I'm a lot newer agent. I've been in the marketing game for a very long time, years. But as far as a licensed agent, for me personally, that's within the last year and a half. And so I had to do all of the licensing and things, and that would be one of my questions, and I'd like to share that with other agents. Are you allowed to give a gift certificate or something like that to somebody that gave you a Medicare client?
Yeah, there's a gray area here. So this is the way I do it. So there has been, I've seen wording on here, but nobody's been able to ever answer this question. You can give $25 as a referral for a prescription drug plan and
Okay.
$100 for a Medicare Advantage plan.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
I don't do this per plan. Okay,
Right.
I just do it. Okay, so Miss Betty could have sent me one client, she could have sent me 50 clients. When I go give her that gift card, it's just a thank you.
Okay.
It's not tied to a specific referral. It's a, hey, thank you. I want to take you and your
Just
spouse
thank you
out.
for like a business partnership. Just thank you for being a great partner. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And here's what I would like to do. So I like to do gift cards because I can write them off. So I'll go get a $200 gift card at Longhorn or Ruth Chris or wherever, and yeah, I'll go take it to Miss Betty, and then I'll code the receipt as like, hey, this is a promotion referral fee
Right.
for Betty so and so, and I'll either do the e card or whatever, and that way they get it or email, or I like to go deliver it because I can go restock.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so there's things that you can do. And speaking of the referrals, we did 29 new policies in 2 weeks with the referral program. Okay. On top of what we normally do. So one day I'm sitting at my office, and you agents guys, you should be listening. These are just things that nobody talks about. I didn't even hear about this somewhere else. But I was like, guys, how can we generate more referrals? Well, we could ask, okay? But why don't we ask and incentivize? So I was like, okay, it's almost spring break. In our area, we have Fiesta, Texas, which is a big Six Flags theme park. I'm like, guys, what's 4 tickets going to cost me? And how about a parking pass? How about we get like drink tickets and meals? Probably $400 or $500. I'm like, why don't we do this? Let's do a giveaway. Okay, let's do a giveaway. And I'm like, here's my little friend. She's back. Okay, let's do a giveaway. And I'm like, so what we did is we started all of our insureds and we did a campaign. We texted my entire book and we said, hey, Max, I need your help. Okay, now when somebody says they need your help, usually means 2 things. I need to borrow some money, or I want you to buy something.
Right.
And I take that off the table. Max, the help that I'm asking you will not cost you a penny. I'm not going to ask you to buy anything, and I'm not going to ask you now to borrow money. Okay, Max? You're like, oh, thank God. Good. Okay, perfect. So, Max, here's what I'd like to do. Max, I want to work with more people like you. So I'm sure you hang out with a lot of people that are like you. Maybe your sister, your other family members, your in-laws, your colleagues, whatever. And here's what I want to do, Max. You give me some names and numbers because I want to help them out too, like I helped you out. But for every name that you give me, I'm going to have an entry into our raffle. If they answer the phone, so let's just say you give me some good, you're going to give me some good stuff. I will give you an additional ticket. If they actually buy something from me, I'm going to give you 5 tickets. Okay? And what this raffle that we're giving away is a Six Flags, I go over the details. And I'm going to have a drawing right before spring break. So what do you think? And so sure. Okay, so you give me your sister's name, your brother's name, you give me some information out there, and I get all the data, and I start making phone calls. Well, from that raffle, we wrote 29 new policies.
And you're talking ACA, right?
No, everything, auto, home, because we didn't care what the referral was about. So we did ACA, we did Medicare, we did life insurance, we wrote auto, we wrote home off that. And when you think about it, is I can do some quick math, but I ended up paying like $3 or $4 for every lead.
Right.
And I considered the commissions versus, and I also incentivized my staff. Whoever got the most leads gets $300. Second place gets $200. So I looked at the cost of the package that I sold.
Sure.
Plus my little $200 with another $600, $1,000. But what I made on those 29 something policies that we sold, I came out way ahead.
Nice.
Way ahead. So we're like, you know what? We need to do this every month, guys. Every single
month?
month. So now we're doing the theme park, the water,
Wet and
what's a water
Wild or
park?
something like that, or
Water World, whatever we have
yeah,
here. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe they may not want to go to that. What if we do that or cash,
yeah,
like a giveaway? So you can take the cash equivalent of it, and so we're working on that now. And
nice,
you know,
great
just
job.
you got to think of as an agent.
Yeah,
You know the training is one thing, the support is one thing, but what's going to determine your success? Of course, training helps and getting support helps, but
right,
you got to get in front of a lot of people.
yeah,
You know, you know, with you, Max, I could say, look, I'm going to train you, and I do train. Okay, that's one thing that I am very different from other entities out there that contract. Is that I have a training program for ACA. I have a training program for Medicare, and you could be the best trained agent, Max. You could have a PhD in those two lines of business, but you could be broke if you can't get in front of a bunch of people.
right,
Knowledge is only going to take you so far, but what's going to bring in money is you sitting in front of a lot of people and sharing all that knowledge that you got with them so that you can help them with whatever they're looking for.
right. And so to kind of bring it all together and land the plane, so to speak, you know, the one thing that you talked about, incentivizing. So you talked about a little promo that you just did, which worked and resulted in, I believe you said 29 new policies. But then you also said position yourself maybe as the authority using the digital tools that are available now versus, you know, back when you started, you didn't even have those tools. So now, and that's positioning yourself as the authority, the person that's going to help somebody who needs Medicare or ACA. So using those tools, those digital tools. But then I also heard you say, get off the couch, in essence, and go out and press the flesh, so to speak, kiss the babies, if you will, and just let everybody know what you do. I'm amazed at how many insurance agents don't, you know, on their own socials, don't let people know what they do. They, you know, in their own circle of friends, they don't say, hey, can you, are your parents or your, you know, brothers and sisters, are they Medicare age? If so, can you help me and have them give me a call? You know, those sorts of things. We don't ask for help in a way that's, you know, going to benefit us long term. So you gave us a lot of good things to think about. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I was typing in Facebook over here, and I can't share my screen, but I will tell you, we have a post right now talking about a 10-year term and $25 a month for $500,000. You got to let people know. It's a post, okay?
Right.
And then here's what we do. When we get people that either like it or comment on it, you follow up with them.
Right.
Hey, thank you for liking my post.
Right.
Can I help you with some life insurance? One of my guys here who does very, very good with ACA. What he does is he sits here and he makes the cheesiest videos. Sometimes he'll put a goofy hat on, and I'm like, dude. He's like, dude, it works. People watch my stuff. Look how many shares I got. He's killing me. But he'll sit there with his phone and he'll put it on the deal and like, hey, happy morning, happy whatever day. And he does this thing and he's like, hey, today he gives examples of how he's helped people. Hey, yesterday I had a family of 4. Okay, these people had no insurance. Okay, and these people make about this much, and I was able to find them a plan for whatever. And here's what they got. They got this carrier, and here's some of the things. Look, they're going to pay $5 for their doctor. They're going to pay $10 for a specialist. If they go to the hospital and they have $1 million bill, they're only going to pay this amount.
Right.
If you guys need help like this, DM me, put a post, I'll get a hold of you. Here's my number, by the way. Call me. And I don't know what the heck he does, but he's doing over 100 policies a month just by himself. God. I mean, he's just writing. I'm like, you know, and now I have an incentive program for him. He's on a salary, and then I pay him per enrollment. Right. So if you're wondering how much, guy makes $8-10 grand a month.
Nice. Well, he
But
should. He's a producer. He's helping people, your customers, and helping your agency and helping himself. So it's a triple win. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
yeah,
That's
I
what it
love
should
it.
be about. Yeah.
Right, because I mean, yeah, he's costing me that much, but he's making me more than double every single month. I mean,
Right.
he is, and I tell people this is business 101. I didn't go to business school, guys. I have an education degree, but I learned business 101. The school of hard knocks is that you have two types of people that you employ. You employ the people that cost you money, or you employ people that make you money.
Yeah.
And
Excellent.
slowly, you get rid of the people that cost you money.
Yeah. Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
Slowly, you try to help them out. Everybody's going to cost you money at the beginning when they're a new hire, because you're training them and they're learning. But at some point, they need to shift from a cost center into a profit center. They need to make profit for the organization. And now the profit doesn't have to be directly in income. Like my CSRs, they don't generally bring in insurance, but they maintain my book of business. So my retention numbers better go up. So,
Right.
there's got to be some profit in one way or another for them to stay on board here with this agency. Otherwise, I tell them I don't have a trust fund. Okay. All right. I don't have owed money. And number two is I can't print money. Okay. So if you're a cost center and you're costing me money every month, I can't afford to keep you. You're going to have to go somewhere else and cost them money. So if you want to stay here with us and have what we have, you have to make me money so I can pay you.
Yeah, exactly. And treat our customers well in the process. Luis, boy, oh boy, thank you so much for the time. And I'm going to go ahead and it'll be on the screen. We're recording right now, but I'll put it on the screen. I'm going to put your YouTube channel, but think Medicare, think ACA, and that's for insurance professionals. You also have courses. You also have one of the things I just purchased from you was the Smart Book, what you call as the Smart Book, that you can put in a 3-ring binder. And I got the package. It was only $150, and I thought it was a great value. But so it's stuff that you can get yourself. But what Luis has done is he's packaged it in a really nice way. And time is money, and so it's a great thing to have. There you go. And you can even customize. He gives you a link for Canva to customize the cover, and then open it up, and you've got a prezo right there. And what I'm going to use it for also is take Luis's advice, and I'm going to go ahead and make my own Medicare channel and my own ACA channel on YouTube and talk directly into the camera with some of the information, and then take some of the information that he has and remake my own slides for the graphics on that YouTube channel. I mean, it's you've been a tremendous asset already for me. And is there anything that you want to say as we close up?
You know what? I will add, to what you said about making a channel. Guys, it's not that hard, and you don't need to spend a ton of money. This is your best recording device. Okay, the video is incredible. The quality is good. This is a very good tool to start off with. As you progress, yes, you want to get a better camera. I got a little speaker stand here that helps you want a good voice, good lighting. I got a pro camera, but I'm also a photographer. I like taking pictures and stuff. So you can invest. But at the very beginning, when money's tight, you don't need to invest. I told agents, here's what you should invest in. Okay, number one is, and you saw my guy came in here and he took it. I think the best speakers out there is called a DJI speaker. You hook it up to your phone. You can actually go buy a stand, $20 on Amazon. Put your phone on the stand, and you attach to your phone the connector, and then you get a lapel mic that you hook up, and it's wireless. So you could be away from your phone, and it could still record that high quality audio. That thing costs
audio is important. Audio is so important. I agree. So
$200 for that. You already have an iPhone probably, and a stand for $20, and you're rocking. Now, how do you people would ask, well, how do I do my own channel? Guys, if you just go to YouTube and talk about how do I create a YouTube channel, you will see some very good people that will walk you through the whole process. It's
Yeah.
not that hard. But I will also tell you,
YouTube even has their own school too. I mean, they'll even have I did some of those courses too, Creator Studio, and that's nice too. But I agree with you, Luis. You can Google it or YouTube it rather, and there's thousands of options. So
yeah, you can do that. There's so many tools out there. I mean,
Yeah.
and you just got to get out there to the world, guys. People are not going to find you. Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you have to pop up on their feeds, on their channels somehow, so that hopefully, if the timing is right, it's all about timing, and you can't time it. Nobody can time it, but it just happens that it falls on their feed when this happens, whatever this is. They're like, ooh, you know what? I need to get a hold of this guy. Boom.
Right.
And you get the little message, or they click on your ad or whatever, and now you've got a lead and you can rock and roll. So,
Amen.
agents,
Thank you.
I will finish off with this. It is a beautiful industry, okay? It is not the easiest. I tell agents, you can't see me now because where I'm at now took 25 years of work. I would say the first 10, 15 years, I probably should have stayed in teaching. I would have made more money back then, okay? But now, oh, hell no, okay?
Yeah.
I'm at a whole nother level. But this industry, guys, is not like that, okay? It's slow money. It gets better with time, but you've got to you got to always keep producing. So the industry is good. There's good agents needed out there. There's a lot of bad ones. We need good agents out there, well trained, and you just need to learn how to get in front of people, guys. So I hear agents always saying, "Well, I want to telesales. I don't want to leave my house." Ugh. You're gonna have a much harder time versus an agent who wants to do telesales, but they're also willing to get out of the house or get out of the office and go knock on doors and just mingle and talk to people. So
Yeah.
put yourself in that, be that agent that wants to not only stay inside, but wants to go outside and let the world know in many ways what you do, because people will seek you out once they know what you do.
Yeah. Awesome advice. Luis, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.